The symbol of success strikes again. The football gods have spoken. This is our new identity. This is who we are, mate. And you're fired, mate. You're sacked, yeah? Screwed. Finished. Unlucky son. I don't care. A lot of people are going to come around here and tell me what you do and don't deserve in this life that we call football. I don't give two rats bumperclots. I am living my life right now and I'm living it well. 3-0 away at Nottingham Forest. With that lineup, with that setup, with that system. If you had told me that Chelsea were going to win by that margin, by that scoreline at the end of the game, as opposed to what I watched in that first half, I said it on the watch along. I'm not biting your hand off. I'm biting your arm off. I'm biting off your whole limb for that result, for that scoreline. Absolutely insane game. Insane. And Chelsea, as always, do it with 10 men. Are you, as an op, as a rival, are you capable of winning 3-0 at the City ground? Even with Big Ange, who's now unemployed, out of a job centre, seeking employment, P45 settings. More than happy to have you as a guest on the watch-alongs if you wish for next game week. Do you think you're capable of winning with 10 men? Because I don't think you're us. We are going to grounds and winning with 10 men. 3-0. Maresca has learned how to win with 10 men, ladies and gentlemen. He has not put the handbrake on with the 10 men. He is not making crazy defensive substitutions. He's not hooking attackers. He is just flourishing with 10 men. I can't wait for those comments. I can't wait for that post-match interview. I've got super chats that I forgot to read at the end of the watch-along because I was so gassed. I'll read them later on in this review. I am pumped. But it didn't come without a cussing. It did not come without a cussing and a crucifixion because I was so angry at halftime with this team. Let's get into it. Maresca. I don't really know how to evaluate your performance today because you wasted 45 minutes of my lifetime. My life is precious. Everyone's life is precious. We only have a small time on this earth. I don't want to get dark. I don't want to get deep, but this is what the facts are, the realities. And you are wasting my man's time. 45 minutes time we will never get back for the lineup that you put out there. Now, I fully understand that the South Americans have come back and Caicedo and Enzo have knocks and doubts. So, Caicedo was on the bench today. There was no Enzo Fernandez on the bench. Estevao, South America trip with, Rodrigo's and Vinny Juniors and whatnot. So he's on the bench. I don't like it, but I can try to understand it. What I can't understand is why Chelsea Football Club against a back five, and fantastic, by the way, that this all kind of proved itself to be true at halftime when we made those changes. But the question has to be, are you going to learn? Are you going to comprehend and understand why we should never see that first half again? Chelsea go out there against Nottingham Forest with a back five, with that three, with the Williamses and the Zinchenkos as the wing backs and back five, full backs. Nottingham Forest packed that midfield with four midfielders, Andersons, Gibbs Whites, Yates is on the bench even. They've still got other options. They've gone dark. They've gone dirty. One striker up top. 4-5-1, 5-4-1, whatever you want to call it. Chelsea didn't have the lot picker in that first half. Chelsea didn't have the creativity. Chelsea didn't have anyone that could move the needle and be the playmaker. And where did the best chance come from? You guessed it right, chat. Pedro. Pedro creating for Santos. So it's like João Pedro drops into the half spaces at the end of that half. He creates for Santos, puts the ball in behind, the best pass of the match from any Chelsea player, and it creates a 1v1 scenario which he, unfortunately pulls wide. He should have also scored another goal in that. Well, he had another opportunity to get a goal in that first half. He didn't get it. He had a few opportunities. He didn't take them. Chelsea, for large parts, were just really rough to watch in that first half. And we got away with it. I'll be really crystal clear and honest about it. Nottingham Forest had the better chances in that first half. They were knocking on the door and it was getting very close, close quarters with our keeper. They've missed a lot of big chances in this game. They've missed a massive, massive amount of chances that they should be taking. Airily on the ground, crosses coming in, back post, stick, shooting over the bar. Even one time, Kukura, I think it hit his head in the second half, is hitting the bar and the post at the... And when the football gods are not with you, what can you say? Sells as well, for the corners. But listen, that's your business, not my problem. I'm ecstatic that we finally rectified what was wrong in the first half. But against the back five, I'm not trying to do a 5 things we learned. That's George's thing. You know what I'm saying? But I'm sure if he was to go through it, and he will, don't play a back five without a striker again. When you're playing up against a back five, you do not play João Pedro, who's a half nine, a Roberto Firmino. You don't play him up against 3 centre-backs. You play Guiu from the get-go. You have that striker. The 3 clubs played for, can't go out on loan. We're done with that. He played against Liverpool. You have a focal point. You have someone that can press. You have someone that can run in behind. You have someone that can affect the game and keep the centre-backs and the opposition humble and drop their line a bit. And that create that space for João Pedro in the pockets to play the pass he played for Santos and to start to take a grip of the game. Because in that first half, there was no one to play that pass. There was no one to create. Palmer's not in the team. Caicedo, one of our best passers. Enzo Fernandez, when he's at it, one of our best passers. They're not playing. So who's going to play that pass? I was very frustrated with Neto in the first half. Very frustrated with Garnacho. Neto gets the ball more often, so he gets more opportunity to create, and he does. But a lot of overhit crosses, a lot of, crosses don't beat the first man. It's very, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. Garnacho, we know what we're getting. Run as fast as you can, and then dribble into next man. It's long. We were awful. The build-up, bomba clock. The build-up, Lavia today, not good. Josh, a couple mistakes in the build-up. Trevor, left foot on the left side centre-back. We've been here before. No Badiashile, no Colwell. Build-up, left-footed, passes that should be played round the corner or switching play and just opening up the game. We know Chalobah's turned to his right. We know he's playing it into unknown territories, and we're getting counter-pressed tough. And then Nottingham Forest having opportunities. So they're having opportunities running at our goal. They're having shots. They're just wide, just over the bar. Gibbs White. Catalogue of chances. Absolute Argos catalogue of chances. Reece James and Cucurella are our best defenders, and they're literally the furthest apart. So there's no synergy in the middle, and everything's just cooked. But there's good news, because we improved. We improved. And the lineup, like I said, didn't make any sense. Gusto in midfield, turning over possession. Didn't have a great first half as well. He's receiving. He's giving the ball away within like 30 seconds. But we improved. And he didn't move Gusto out of midfield at half-time. But what he did, Gittins came on, Garnacho on that left. But what he did, which was more important, the most important thing, is he allowed João Pedro to go and play in that 10, and he put Guiu up front. And that was the main thing he had to do. Because the defence is the defence. We're going to concede some chances. We don't have world-class defenders. We have an absolute injury crisis at centre-back. And the point that I keep making on this is, it doesn't matter how many defenders get injured. It doesn't legislate for having 10 or 11 centre-backs on the books. Chelsea, they sold a record amount of sales. They have a lot of centre-backs. 8 I counted, including the guys that are versatile, like Neto James, Achemapong, that can play in a multitude of left-back, full-back, right-back, centre-back, right? In a 3, which is what we do in build-up. But Chelsea have a lot of centre-backs, and they still didn't sell Disasi. So it doesn't matter how many centre-backs get injured. It doesn't matter how many centre-backs get suspended. Numerically, Chelsea have too many centre-backs. They have to sell to buy. So who do you lose faith in? Is it Badiashile? Is it Fofana? Let me know in the comments. Whatever. Tosin, Chalobah. The point is, we have enough centre-backs. The quality is a different conversation for the directors. My point is, go hard on the attack. Go hard or go home on the attack. Have the striker options. Play João Pedro in the 10 when there's no Palmer, especially when it's against low blocks, back 5, because we want to see João Pedro on the ball. We want to see João Pedro influencing the game, getting touches. And that second half, immediately after those changes were made, and this is not even with Estevao coming on, who we would have liked to have probably seen at halftime, Chelsea looked a lot better. Chelsea were brilliant. Chelsea were free-flowing. Chelsea looked like a completely different team. We blitzed them immediately. As soon as the changes were made that we were calling for before the game even kicked off, we got a different Chelsea. Suddenly, Guiu is up the top of the pitch. João Pedro is getting on the ball. He's influencing things, right? He's creating. Now, Neto's on the left, Neto to the right. I was cussing Neto in the first half because I wasn't happy with his performance. And I think there is a cap to what Neto can do. The first goal that he creates is exactly what Neto does. Sometimes the crosses are good. That one was a brilliant one. He runs down the left-hand side. He crosses. Great header from Achemapong. 1-0 to Chelsea. Mwah. S'il vous plaît, mes amis. Fantastico. This is what we need. And I don't think Neto on the right and Neto on the left, there's a big difference. When he's on the right, he's got the ball, he runs to the touchline, he crosses. When he's on the left, he runs to the touchline, he crosses. Chelsea right now, the way that they had that front line in the first half, when you're going with João Pedro up front and you're going Garnacho and Neto on the touchline, what you effectively have is nothing in the middle. There wasn't enough connection. There wasn't enough link up. There wasn't enough back and forth, 1-2s, combine and connect. João Pedro, like I said, is Roberto Firmino for me in this Chelsea team. You need inside wingers. You need inside forwards. You need players that are going to out to in. Neto Garnacho running towards goal. 1v1s, 2v1s, walking the ball in. Mane, Salah. That's the vibe. We don't do that. We put them on the touchline. We ask them to dribble. We ask them to create. And they're not Elise, so there's a cap. And there's no connection. Second half, João Pedro comes in, starts linking the play, starts getting in between the lines, carrying the ball. First thing he does, wins a foul, gets us up the pitch. Next thing he's doing, he's played a beautiful pass to Guiu. After this first goal, he's then dropped. He's won the foul. He wins the foul. Free kick, Neto bangs it in. That did surprise me. That was a fantastic free kick, low and hard. Some people will say Sels should do better. I don't really care. At the end of the day, yeah, that is much better to have people combining and connecting than it is to have everybody spaced out and looking like strangers. And that's what it was. It was foreign exchange students on the pitch together, not really understanding each other's languages. And then, then there's teaching assistants and that. We don't need that. We need people to understand. We need conversations to be happening, talking to each other. And we did in the second half. In the second half, we looked like a team. We spoke. We saw Neto speaking to Guiu. They passed to each other. Whoop-de-doo. We saw Pedro passing to Gittins. Whoop-de-doo. People play together. This is crazy. This is emphatic. It's amazing. This is what we need every game from the beginning. So, look, for me, Chelsea, second half, smacked up Forest immediately. 2 goals, and you're just like, wow, we can't do no wrong from this position. Give credit to Forest. They were still ploughing away, still creating chances. And, like I said, we got away with it a few times. We were fortunate. Some big save from Sanchez as well. Made double saves. We needed to rely on our keeper at times. But we know the centre-back situation is not at its peak. We know that people are injured, like Badiashile till December. Colwell's out. We know that we don't have exactly what we need there. So we need to go even more emphasis on attack. And for me, with Maresca, you do not play 5 defenders from the beginning against Nottingham Forest, who are guaranteed to play a back 5. What are we doing with 5 defenders versus a 5 defence? Like, we got 3 attackers in that first half. We add an extra attacker in the second half. We go 4, and the synergy's there, and we look better. Obviously, Caicedo coming on makes a massive difference in midfield. He keeps things ticking. Lavia was poor, like I said. Gave the ball away a few times, didn't scan, whatever. The pass was bobbly. I don't know. They can talk about that in the dressing room. But Chelsea in that second half, much, much better. From an attacking standpoint, defensively, still shaky. But like I said, it is what it is. A lot of players injured. And then the third goal, I'm stoked because Reece James slapping one in from a corner, Sels punches out. I ain't got no complaints. About that. You know what I'm saying? If the captain, fantastic. The only right back that didn't score today was Gusto. He never scores. But we almost had all 3 right backs get goals. We had James, we had Achemapong. All we needed was Gusto and we would have been home and dry. Gusto did do something though. Yeah, he did. He got sent off. Now, I've been shameless about this and I intend to continue to be on many panels and many shows during the week. But if I can have a little honest one-to-one conversation with Marlo for a second. What the F are you doing? You've made a tackle in their half. We're 3-0 up. There is no need. There is no need for us to be Red Card FC. There is no need for this. There's no need for this to happen at the City ground when you're 3-0 up. You've gone flying in to a challenge. When they're on the ball in their half, they're about to probably play it long. You're nowhere near the ball, and you're already on a yellow card. Is there a brain-dead kind of disease or brain-dead kind of booster jab that's been implemented into our individuals in our squad? Is there a brain-dead booster? Because I don't want none of it. Is this what's going on? What was the logic? Why are we doing this? Now, is Gusto going to be a massive miss for Sunderland at home? No, but it's the principle. It's the principle. Chelsea have had 5 red cards in the last 5 games. Maresca's one is the only one that I'm all right with, because it's woke nonsense to say to a manager, you can't run up and down the touchline like prime Jose Mourinho and celebrate limbs with your players and fans in a late winner against Liverpool. I ain't gonna jump on that bandwagon of bullshit that Maresca did something wrong. That's just some foolishness. But the other red cards from the players, I'm sorry, use your brains. I said in the game state, if you need to get sent off because you're the last man, 1-0 up, 5 minutes to go, get it done. Get sent off. We defend the free kick. We defend the lead for the last 5 minutes. You lot are all getting sent off in moments that don't matter. You're all getting sent off in times that there is no unrest. Everything is easy peasy, lemon squeezy. João Pedro got sent off when we were winning against Benfica on the halfway line. I don't even know why. Maybe it wasn't a red card for some of you, but even still, why are we even engaging in these incidences? So I don't know what's going on with these people. I don't really know if I even want to even delve too much more into it because it doesn't even make any sense. There's literally nothing logical to justify this behavior. It's some bollocks. It's some bollocks. I don't know, some foolishness. So we win the game with 10 men. I can be shameless about it, but at the same time, this has to stop. Like it's when the fun stops, stop. Yeah, and I'm not saying the fun stopped today because we won 3-0, but at some point, it ain't going to be funny anymore. And I don't want to be a hypocrite. So I'm just saying right now, from the bat, from the off, stop. Stop. And that's all I have to say. Just stop. 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 So Chelsea win 3-0. Red card. Loads of chances missed for Nottingham Forest. Loads of really good signs from the second half in terms of from an attacking sense that when you put people in positions that make sense, things happen. And we just need to stop wasting time. Stop. Maresca, stop doing this against back fives. You're going to play Sunderland. You're going to play Wolves. I don't know if there could be many more back fives ahead. Please make sure that you learn from today. I know that not having another striker and then Guiu being on the bench so you have a weapon and you don't want to go no strikers on the bench. I understand why that's annoying. But again, if I circle back to my principles in the summer, do not go into the season with only 2 strikers. And we were ready to do that. We were ready to go into the season with Delap and João Pedro. And from what I'm seeing from Maresca, you weren't prepared then to play João Pedro and Delap together much because you wanted to have a striker on the bench, which is now Guiu. That's not acceptable. And this is where brain cells need to be ticking. Chelsea need to have 3 strikers at all times, no matter what the formation or the system, especially when João Pedro is not a proper out-and-out number 9 against back 3s. The only strikers that can play against a Nottingham Forest back 3 or back 5 is a Osimhen or a Didier Drogba. If your name is not one of those 2 individuals, I don't want to see it. I want to see you paired with someone. I want to see you on the ball, especially when Cole Palmer's not on the pitch. João Pedro had a shot today. He didn't score. He had no shots in the last 5. He shot today. And that was playing in the 10. And all of his GA, by the way, has come in the Premier League playing in the 10. West Ham played in the 10. Need I say more? I may not. I may not need to say no more. So, I've said what I needed to say. I did give Neto a cussing. 60 million, 2 goals, 1 assist now this season in all comps. Yes, this is what you need to be doing. I'm sorry to have to place this pressure on you if you did not want it, if you are not even capable of it. But you are our lead winger, yeah? I have watched Joe Cole, Florent Malouda, Damien Duff, Iron Robben, Eden Hazard. You are our lead winger. That first half performance, we cannot run with that. You have to do what you did in the second. The crosses have got to be on point like it was for the goal. And the free kick, that was just something special. That was a treat. You know what I'm saying? That was a day out. But I don't think I'm being harsh on Neto, who is 60 million, seasoned Premier League player who's been here for donkey's years since I was probably in secondary school, to be asking him to do first choice winger things. If he's the best winger and he's the most experienced and he costs the most, more than Estevao, Garnacho, Gittins, and I'm sorry, I just have to ask of you to do things that starting wingers at Chelsea Football Club have to do. So you have to contribute. So today is great. Keep it up. Don't be giving me them first half performances because I'm not on it. I've got some super chats to read because I forgot to read them in the live because I was so absolutely on it. Javier says, Maresca has to stop playing chess, play football. He did too much. I'm seeing James in midfield. I'm seeing Gusto in midfield. I'm seeing Cucurella in the 10. Honestly, I saw so much. My eyes were deceiving me. It's like, what are we doing? Why are we making life so complicated? I don't know what was going on in that first half. I saw players just in so many different zones, so many different positions. I'm like, what is going on? I remember the days of Andy Gray on Sky Sports, 4-4-2. Oh yeah, Lampard, and you move the player up a little bit, and then Makalele, you move the player down a little bit, and the 2 wingers, 4-4-2, you move it up a little bit and back down. That was the height of our pre-match analysis. I'm not saying it needs to be like that again, but can we calm it down, please? Because it's getting too much. Steve K says, how would you feel this lineup facing Arsenal? What, the lineup that started this game? Absolutely not. Don't make me sick. United fan from South Africa here, just wanted to big you up. Good GDP comment. Yeah, I said it. Graham Potter's going. Our former manager's going to Sweden, head coach. I said that man cannot manage any country that doesn't have a good GDP, good healthcare, and a good, just good vibes. He's a seaside manager, Bournemouth, Southampton, Brighton, or one of the Scandinavian countries. He can't manage in the hood. He can't manage in Stratford. He can't manage anywhere where there's any animosity and friction. It is what it is. It's facts. You know what I'm talking about, lads. He hasn't got the personality for it. Another super chat. Might need a mad free kick for the win. Yeah, bro. Are you still crashing out at 1 p.m.? I was crashing out before half time because as soon as João Pedro made that chance for Santos, it made me angry because it told me that we are playing João Pedro again in the wrong position in this game and we're wasting time. We need to start getting more out of João Pedro. He should be getting shots every game. Adam also says, no point crashing out. It was Ange. Bro, I want to win games, bro. I'm scared for Ange's safety. I'm not. Couldn't really care less if he gets sacked. Guiu's finally out the gulag. Please, man, talk to Enzo. Guiu is out the gulag. He played today, he came on, and he offered what he needed to offer. I'm not sitting here saying that Guiu is going to be the best thing since sliced bread. But at the end of the day, you still need that bread. Financially and in your diet. I'm not going to lie. Guiu came on, he just stretches defenses. He just gives defenders something to occupy. He just gives João Pedro more space. He helps João Pedro play better. That is a win already. And he came on, he did what he needed to do. I'm not asking you to do mad things. I'm not asking him to be Lewandowski. I'm just asking you to come on, just play him, just use him so we can actually have someone to cross to as well for Neto. And you would like to be, you would have subbed Neto off. After that first half performance, yes, I would have subbed Neto off. I said, I don't care. Neto or Garnacho, one of you have got to come off. And Neto for the assist, he did exactly what Neto does. And then for the free kick, fantastic. Shoot me. Absolutely shoot me. I didn't see Neto scoring that free kick. My point is, there is a cap to Neto. We have to use him in a certain way. But really, and as I said, Estevao is our best winger. And it's very apparent, very clear. The guy uses his weak foot to shoot. He creates in open play. He can dribble a lot better. There's just a better package, a bigger potential there. And I don't think that should be unpopular. And like I said with Neto, you've got to do a lot. You've got to do a lot more because you are the most expensive winger and you are the guy that needs to be shouldering a lot of the burden. Unfortunately, I wouldn't put Neto in this position personally, but we didn't sign Rodrigo. We didn't sign even Semenyo. It's not my fault that Neto's got to be this important. I didn't build this squad, lads. So you can be angry with me all you like, but at the end of the day, you know that Neto's got to register and should be registering 10 goals, 10 assists in all comps minimum. And that's not what he's lined up to do at the moment. So he needs to pick it up. He needs to pick it up. If we're not going to sign better players than him out wide, then that's what happens, I'm not really here to sugarcoat it. Maybe he'll keep him because Ange is Greek, says Adam again. Why are you trying to do Control FC at 70 minutes, bro? What if Tobes, what if it was Tobes, what does the shit as revenge? You guys got to take more time with your super chats, you know what I'm saying? LJ Brown. What if it was Tobes who does the shit as revenge? Okay, I don't know what that means. They have red card bonuses. Maybe they do. Maybe our players get red card bonuses. Red card FC, Brexit Tackle FC, Passion FC, love the passion, says Knox. And the last super chat from Ty says, need to start betting who gets the next red card. We did a red card bingo, and I'm glad we did. Gusto was on that poll at the bottom. He got the most votes along with James and Josh. We had to put them all together because we had to put all the guys that got red cards, like João Pedro and Trevor Chalobah and Sanchez, actually give their own part in the poll. An absolute mess of a game. But we win regardless. We love it, so we live. But guys, there's a lot to learn. Not really necessarily for us as a fan base. I think a lot of us knew what was wrong with that team. Maresca needs to learn and stop doing dumb shit because we ain't got time for this. We need to win games. We did waste 45 minutes today. But great win, buzzing. Now we can enjoy the rest of our weekend. And I'm going to just enjoy the highlights and enjoy the goals because the second half, the way we bounced back was fantastic. When the changes were made, it was brilliant. So, guys, smash out all the icons. I'll see you guys next time. In a bit, people. Peace. Come on.